Hello and welcome. Today I'm just going to talk about malware a little bit. Straight into it, malware is the collective name for a number of malicious software variants, including viruses, ransomware, and spyware. You may have heard of some of those before. Um, what malware actually is, it means it's actually short for malicious software. And it typically consists of code developed by cyber attackers, designed to cause extensive damage to data and systems or to gain unauthorized access into a network. Malware is typically delivered in the form of a link or file over email and requires the user to usually click on the link or open the file to execute malware. It can also come on, a flash drive. If somebody gives you a foreign flash drive, say, hey, copy some movies and stuff for me. But because the flash drive has been in so many different devices, malware has jumped onto it. And the minute you pop it in, your antivirus goes, whoosh, it detects that there is a threat, there's malware on there, and boom. Anyway, malware has actually been a great threat to individuals and organizations since the early 1970s when the creeper virus first appeared. Since then, the world has been under attack from hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different malware variants, all with the intent of causing the most disruption and damage as possible. So, what can malware do, you ask? Malware delivers its payload in a number of different ways. And when I'm saying payload, I'm talking about, it does what it needs to do. It delivers its malicious code. It injects uh, its bad things that it wants to do to your computer and other systems on the network. You know, what malware actually does, as again, I'll mention from, the different types of malware, it demands ransom, the holds your computer ransom, or it steals data, or it takes control of your computer. Um, and believe it or not, the criminals out there, those guys that call from Pakistan.
Shoot bloody. Branchot, you blundered. No, but why is bloody no?
Um, they are very sophisticated in their methods. I'm sure you've seen somewhere, some Indian dude is calling you up and saying, "Oh, your computer's uploading a virus somewhere about Microsoft, this and that, and they need to, get in there." This is all part of the plan. That is social engineering, but they do also use malware on your computer to extract information, you know, important and personal information, that they can steal and use against you. So if we're looking at the types of different malwares that we have, you've got viruses, worms, spyware, trojans, and ransomware. All right, now let's just go into viruses quickly. Um, virus, the most typical type of malware. Viruses, what they do is they attach their malicious code to clean code and wait for a user, or a process, or a program that you're opening just to open up, and then boom, it does its thing. It starts copying itself onto your files and closing them up and ruining all sorts of stuff on your computer, just like a normal biological virus. So, like the flu or COVID virus that you get inside of your body. And it causes great damage. It corrupts files and stuff, and it really just kills your system. And of course, if if it's on the network, on the internet, it spreads, via flash drives over the network and so on. Worms, well, they get their the name from, the way that they infect systems. They start from one infected machine. They weave their way through the network, connecting to consecutive machines in order to continue, the spread of infection. And worms can, it infects the entire network of devices, and it does it very quickly. Spyware, and as its name suggests, is designed to spy on what a user is doing, hiding in the background on a computer. This is the type of malware that will collect information without the user knowing, such as credit card details, passwords, and sites that you visited, your mailing lists, that sort of stuff. So be careful. Trojans, just like the Trojan horse, the Greek soldiers that hid inside a horse to deliver their attack. This type of malware hides within or disguises itself as legitimate software, acting discreetly, and it'll breach your security by creating backdoors and give other malware variants easy access. So it comes in and it invites, say, hey, come on over. There's a computer here that we can quickly just capitalize on. Sometimes you won't even know it because they might inject like a crypto miner on your computer. Then your computer does a lot of crypto mining for them, and you don't even know it. Also, And the worst one out of the lot that I'd like to believe is ransomware, right? It's ransomware or scareware, right? And it comes with a heavy, heavy price, all right? What it does is it locks down networks and locks out the user, being you, until a ransom is paid, you know. So you'll see a notice come up and say, hey, this computer's been locked. In order to get this unlocked and your files retrieved, you need to send this amount of Bitcoin to this Bitcoin wallet and send an email to confirm. And then once that is done, it's done. And then they send you a decryptor to recover your files, And these people are so brazen, they do it out there because they know that they cannot be tracked, So when it comes to whenever you hear about ransomware, unplug your computer immediately, turn it off, and make sure that it's not connected to the network. How does malware spread? Each type of malware has its own unique way of causing havoc, and most rely on user action of some kind. Some strands are delivered over email via link or executable files. Others are delivered via instant messaging or social media. Even mobile phones are vulnerable to the attacks. It is essential that organizations are aware of vulnerabilities so that they can lay down an effective line of defense. How do you protect yourself against malware? Well, now that you understand a little bit more about malware and the different flavors it comes in, let's talk about protection. There are actually two areas to consider where protection is concerned: protective tools and user vigilance. The first is often easiest to implement, because you can often set and forget the best in class protective software that manages to update itself and so on. But when it comes to users, uh, that can be prone to temptation. Like a friend of mine said,
Ma'am, can you give me protection from yourself?
But we're talking IT restructuring.
and they can be led by emotions or fear and be seduced by social engineering. Education is key when it comes to for the users to be aware of the risk of malware, and what they can do to prevent an attack. You know, But of course, with good policies in place and the right anti malware solutions, constantly monitoring the network, email, web requests, and other activities that could put your organization at risk, malware stands less of a chance of delivering its payload. All right, so yeah, you've heard pretty much about malware and so on. So yeah, just remain vigilant and stay safe out there. There's a lot of bad actors out there, a lot of people trying to get hold of your information, your banking, and so forth. So stay safe. And if something looks too good to be true, it usually is. Leave us a like. Peace. Goodbye.